Right, welcome to this lovely segment. This is kind of like a two-in-one deal, right? It's a two for one. Um, the Acolyte writer, the Acolyte for episode 4 writer, responded to a whole bunch of people on Twitter, which made her just look like a total fool as to why the episode was as bad as it was. There's a few things, so we'll talk about that, but then also Daphne Keane does confirm that the Acolyte is pushing a gay agenda because she was asked, and it's a pretty quick thing. Basically, she's asked, is the Acolyte continuing its wonderfully queer agenda by introducing a possible romance between Jackie and Osha? I am so happy you asked that because this is my favorite question ever. Get out more. I think for Jackie, it's very confusing because as a Jedi, you're not allowed to have feelings for other people. And I think she, I think she does. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I think she does. She's got feelings for Osha, so basically she's gonna les it up. Jedi lesbo stuff now. Not only do we have lesbo witches, but we've got lesbo Jedi's. So there's that, but that's not even the best part. This is the best part. So there's a few things that, from episode 4, you might have some questions, right? Which we had in our review, I'm sure. Like, why did the show include pronouns? Why did a Jedi turn up who shouldn't be alive yet? And why was the Wookiee Jedi killed off screen when that Wookiee Jedi was front and center in all of the marketing material, and was even brought out all the festivals and conventions and things? Why was he killed off screen? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be glad to know that the Wookiee Jedi was killed off screen for budgetary reasons. You have $180 million. How? How?
Well, that
What?
seems to me like a nonsense excuse. That's just not true. It just can't be true. It's just that they're a terrible storyteller and writer. Didn't even realise, and only now, when someone's calling them out on it, they feel they need to make an excuse, and so they just came up with that.
Well, they say this: we never got a chance to see the Wookiee Jedi fight. Shame on you. Here's the writer. Unfortunately, not everything gets to be included for budget and story reasons. We had an early draft that showed his fight and death scene, but it ultimately broke the point of view of the episode in a way that I think wouldn't have worked as well. Well, you're a moron then, aren't you? Like, clearly, because the episode's shit anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what's worse, a character dying off screen or watching them die? That obviously you want to watch that character. You want it, like, you need to be on that. Like, what? You keep including a character, which you've teased a few times now, and then you just murder them off screen. That's the most weirdest thing to do. It's so disjointed and bizarre.
What's her name again?
Claire Kitchell.
Okay, Claire Kitchell has revealed herself to have no feeling for pacing or storytelling or drama or any of those things. So again, not a writer. Then she's been handpicked, I imagine, then by who's the Weinstein, by Leslie.
Well, we saw
by the accomplice Leslie. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but no, we saw the hiding practices on camera a little while ago, courtesy of James O'Keefe. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to know what you're doing. You just have to be a non-white male. So if you're a woman of color, or if you are fluid in some way or something, then hey, you're hired. This is all the qualification that is required. And that's kind of like what we're seeing right here. There's no merit that's required. I'm sure there's obviously plenty talented writers of color. I'm not saying otherwise, but I didn't see anyone talking about how they go through the process to ensure that they get the best of writers. Basically, only we got described was, we just make sure that they have their skin color in order, and we call it a day. That's what you see the end result of here.
Yeah. Real quick, I actually did miss these. So these super chats are important. Jesus de Villa says, after hearing that song, I'll need to listen to Halo music later for a palate cleanser. Good. And Richard Curtis says, I love it when you hurt me, culture. Neil M says, good job, guys. What is the link to both channels? It is down below in the description box. But Olaf will chuck it in the chat as well, I'm sure. But it is down below in the description box. So she's then asked, I hope I don't sound rude, but if I may ask, are they mandating you all, not y'all, you all, to keep the episodes short? Wish they were longer like other streamers. We wrote this one and next week's together, and they kind of had a total ballpark limit for the both. For reasons, next week's had to be the longer one. So this one had to be kept short. I think it's the shortest of the 8. Don't quote me though. Why? What reason? That's just what? It's ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense at all. And then there's this, like, why was she even killing Jedi in the first place then? I assume she wanted a revenge. Does her sister being alive remove her thirst for revenge then? I'm just having trouble understanding how does one go from death to the Jedi to, for the Republic, screw this Acolyte guy. She's not good in that moment. She's just super tired of this pointless, what she considers pointless, missions and errands her master's making her do. And I think the revenge that really fueled her just isn't quite the same once she knows Osha is alive. That didn't come across.
Yeah.
That's terribly written. And she's the writer, so she's to blame. Which loser decided to use pronouns? It's obviously a joke about pronouns. Oh, yeah, Disney joking about pronouns. Piss off. Disney, renowned for their jokes about pronouns. Piss off. Piss all the way off. You're so full of shit. But she kept going. She kept doubling down on it. Yeah, but not they. Only lefty weirdos talk like that. That is just injecting modern woke politics into it. I know, you know, and so does everyone else. It was a joke about the pronouns of a large fictional beaver creature. No politics involved. No, it wasn't a joke. There wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't a joke. It was not a joke.
That is one of the, that is really, really, really sad. Like, you know, Trevor, when you're in the playground, you ask a girl out and she says no, and you're like, what? I was only joking, as if that was real, as if I was really asking you out. Please, and you slink away. Like that's the most ridiculous, pathetic way to cope with something, right? It was a joke. Come on, as if it's so obviously wasn't. What a loser.
Just how about you stop putting effing pronouns on everything? You as a pronoun. Oh, behave, mate.
Yeah.
Behave.
Have a word with yourself, love.
Listen, sweetheart, you've ruined a universe I care about, so stick to the CW. Or I may, the power of one, the power of two, the power of many on you. That's me, a ruiner of worlds. Good times. Just own it, I guess. Good times. Good times. There's not much else, really. This is just fucking... Oh, it's a joke. Yeah, Disney. They're so renowned for making jokes at the expense of the LGBTQ brigade, aren't they? They do it regularly, in fact. God, fucking such a clown. What a clown response. Absolutely absurd.
I'm just looking on Google Images at this Claire Keachel. And yeah, she looks like the same sort of Leslie Headland. I don't know if she's gay. I'm not saying that. But she just looks like this sort of... You know, there's like a weird intersection between smugness and having a massive chip on your shoulder, right? Both those things at the same time. Just repugnant. Just sort of at a glance, repugnant. And throw stupid on top of it.
Demonstrably so. Shinotsky says, looks like a successful the producer's scheme. Yeah. And Mr. Tickle Trunk super chats over on Streamlabs says, they say I'm oppressed because it's valuable to a pathological self-destructive degree. The West is the world's top 1%. They're tying themselves up on comfy gilded crosses and lie and yell the Romans put them there. Pure, sick narcissism.
That's actually not entirely true. Talk about the West, but when you look at many of the biggest fortunes, you want to talk about the 1%ers and stuff like that. Quite a big portion of them are in the oil-producing nations of the East. Yeah. And when you look at the distribution of natural resources in the world, very few of those are actually in the West. Europe, for instance, is notoriously void of natural resources. And whenever you have natural resources, you have a ton of, well, you don't have a ton of people, but you have some people with a ton of wealth. You have extreme differences between the hyper-rich and everyone else. What you have in the West is a larger degree of equality, so that you have a much, or at least traditionally, that's changing now, but traditionally you had a much larger working and middle class. Whereas outside of the West, everyone was working class. Then you had the hyper-rich aristocracy. But that hyper-rich aristocracy, oh, they were right up there with anyone in the West. In fact, often even higher up. Just pointing that out for someone that likes to try to rewrite history and frame it as, oh, it's just the West. No.
They love it. They love trying to do that. It's just, I don't know, ridiculous. Anyway, there you go. Is Culture, are you back yet, or are you still disappeared?
I'm still coughing my head off, but I got some tea.
All right.
So.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll. I think we can shuffle on to our Fucking said it again.
Yeah.
I've done pretty well this podcast.
Let's mosey about. Let's mosey to our next subject.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think we'll move on to our politics part now.